Okay, here we go. 9.1 sequences. Now, a sequence is just a list of numbers, values, terms, anything. So it's just a list. It's represented with special notation. The values in the sequence are ordered. In other words, it matters which one comes first because a sequence is going to be represented with a little subscript like this right here. Usually we use N, sometimes it's I, J, K. It depends on what you're doing it for. For us, a sequence that is drawn with the brackets, that means you have a list of elements in the sequence, and these are represented by the a sub n in this case. So what that means is you have a sub 1, a sub 2, a3, dot, dot, dot. An infinite sequence will go forever. A finite sequence has some end, okay? So each of the terms, the nth term in the sequence is represented by a sub n. For us in this class, for now, n starts at 2. At 1. Sometimes when you get into DiffEq, your sequences will start at 0. It's an easy adjustment. We'll talk about that as we move through the chapter. Not a big deal. But you see that your sequences are numbered, and the numbers normally start at 1. Okay, now you can define a sequence as a function of a variable if that variable was actually what we're using to be the counter. Define a sequence as a function of the counter of an integer, which is represented by the n that you see in the subscript here. And those integers are always positive, would be define a sub n as 2n, for instance. So n starts at 1, then you plug the 1 in for the plug 1 in for n, and you'd say 1 times 2. The next counter is 2. I'll write this down and then show you. So you get that, you see what that means. But that's for n equals 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're just taking the counter in and plugging in the counter of each term into this function to get the value of the member of the sequence. They're not always this easy. And this, as a matter of fact, is considered an arithmetic sequence because from one term to the next, from here to here, for instance, you've added 2. From here to here, you've added 2. From here to here, you've added 2. So you see the pattern that from one term to the next, you've added 2. That makes it arithmetic. Arithmetic sequences are always defined by whatever number you're adding times the counter. And if you don't start with the number that you're multiplying by itself, then you'll make an adjustment. We'll have a formula for that later. You'll make an adjustment just to make the first term what it needs to be. That's a simple addition or subtraction of a constant. Another example if a sub n, you know what, let's change the name. We can call it whatever we want. Let's call this one b sub n. That n is not multiplying. I should be more careful. This is an actual subscript that goes down below. It's easier to see when it's typed. You look in your book and you'll see what I mean. Let's define b sub n as being 2n minus 1. That way, for n equals 1, 2, 3, 4, ... we plug in n equals 1 right here, and we get 2 times 1 minus 1 is 1. Plug in the 2. 2 times 2 is 4 minus 1. Then we're going up 2 every time. You see the pattern. If you plug in the counter, you get the value of the next term in the sequence. All right, simple enough? Probably. Recursive sequence. Each term depends on the value of the previous term. On the value in other words, a sub n may be a sub n minus 1 plus 3, or b sub n is 2 times b sub n minus 1 plus 1, something like that. So each term you would also define the first term. That would give, so for the counter 1, a sub 1 is 2, and then the next term would be the previous term with 3 added. So we have 2 plus 3 would be 5, and then 5 plus 3, and then 8 plus 3, and on, like that. If b sub 1 is defined as being, say, minus 5, remember the counters can't be negative, but your terms can be anything. So if b1 is defined as negative 5, then 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, add 1, and we get what? Negative 10 plus 1 is negative 9. I can't think, sorry. The next term, you would take the previous term, negative 9, double it, it's negative 18, add 1, and I get a negative 17. I'm not doing that again. So there you go. Recursive sequences always depend on the previous term. Now, look at this sequence. Oops, I made a mistake. You didn't see that. What is this sequence? Do you recognize it? Can you help me spell it? What is it next? 34. I'm sorry. This isn't anything different than sitting in class watching me, is it? Next would be 21 plus 34 is 55. Correct me if I'm wrong. The next term, if you add these two terms, you get 89, and on and on and on. This is the Fibonacci sequence. Very special sequence, and you see, oh, I already did that. You see that each term is the sum of the previous terms. So I could write that a sub n plus 2 is a sub n plus a sub n plus 1. Or, likewise, b sub n is b sub n minus 2 plus b sub n minus 1. You see how it works? So that's a recursive sequence. It's sequences where each term depends on the previous term. Okay, another kind of sequence that's important is an alternating sequence. Alternating means that the sign is alternating. It always has a factor of a -1 to the n or a -1 to the n plus or minus 1. It doesn't matter. The point is the even terms here, if n is even, this term will become negative. If n is odd, then the power becomes even and the terms are positive. It's just the opposite for this. If n is odd, these are negative terms. If n is even, you get positive terms. So as n goes up by, I'm sorry, I'm not pointing to what I'm talking about, but you know what I'm talking about. It just means that each term is the opposite sign of the one before. Alternating sequences are very special. Lots of good things happen when you have an alternating sequence once you start looking at convergence and things like that. It's easy to tell if an alternating sequence converges. Okay, let's talk for a second about some special guys here. Not that. Okay. If I have n with an exclamation point, that's called n factorial. And it's defined as the number, whatever n happens to be, times every number lower than that all the way down to 1. So 5 factorial would be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So these guys are used a lot. They're used in probability and tons of other things. So let's look at what if I had 7 factorial divided by 4 factorial. That's 7 times 6. 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Do you see how I did that? Divided by 4 factorial, bang. And you get whatever 7 times 6 times 5 is, and that would be, I think, 210. You can check me if I'm wrong. So if I had n plus 3 factorial divided by n factorial, I get n plus 3, n plus 2, n plus 1, n times all the numbers below it, divided by n times all the numbers below it, bang, bang, and I get that beautiful product with 3 factors. But they cancel out, which is nice. You're going to use this a lot when you're doing your testing processes later in the chapter. So if I have a sub n is defined as 3n factorial divided by 3n plus 2 factorial, then I have 3n times 3n minus 1 times 3n blah, 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 blah. That's going to be, notice that the factorial is touching the parentheses and not the n. I'll show you that example in a second. On the bottom, we have 3n plus 2. Take 1 from that, you get 3n plus 1. Take 1 from that, you get 3n, and bang, bang, I end up with 1 over 3n plus 2 times 3n plus 1. Simple to cancel these guys out. What I was saying earlier, notice what the factorial symbol is touching. If it's touching the parentheses, then it's 3n times 3n minus 1 times 3n minus 2 all the way down to 3, 2, 1. However, if I just have 3n factorial with no parentheses, you got to see that the factorial symbol is only touching the n. What that means is the n is the only thing that's factorialed. So there you go. Big, 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 big difference in those two things. So just like exponents, you have to pay attention to what the factorial symbol is touching. Okay, so at this point, we have done 9 through 1. You can get through number 19 in your homework, and the next video that I post will start with finding limits and convergence of sequences. We'll still be in 9.1. This is just the beginning of it.